whole lot happening with bonds, of course. Let's move ahead. All right, got to start where we started the week because S&P 500 was looking good. It was was the 5th consecutive month of gains. Now, we might be facing the first down week in a month. We'll see how it ends up. Fitch, of course, was the big news this week, downgraded U.S. debt to AA+ from this top level of AAA. Seemed very political, honestly. What'd you think about that?
I thought it's the most ridiculous reason ever. I don't know if it's political as much as it is just I thought Fitch needed to put their name back out there. So I thought as a PR move, it was brilliant for them. But I thought, anybody that sold stock based on a Fitch downgrade,
right?
I don't know what's going through their head.
I put no faith in credit rating agencies, either for the U.S. government or for individuals.
Yeah.
They're completely manufactured numbers.
Thank you, TP. TP said it right. Bank of England raised rates 25 basis points this week. So they're at the same level that we are here in the U.S. And it's their highest level in 15 years. They have a lot of inflation there. They're still fighting it. Big earnings week we've had here. Of course, the highlighters were Apple and AMD and Amazon. Apple's a little bit down today. You see earnings. We talked about positions this morning. Amazon, same deals, but it's on the flip side is up. They're making money on their main thing again, apparently. Not even. I think they said they're kind of slower on the cloud side, but they're making money on the main thing again. And then AMD was just kind of mixed bag. They were up after hours, but then down on the regular day. But those were the headliners. At this point, we've had about 82% of the S&P 500 give earnings. So we're going to shut it down at some point for earnings. It's going to have to get slow at some point, and we'll see how the month ends up. VIX is pricing, as of yesterday, about close to just under 16, which is a 1% move in either direction for the SPX. We've probably moved that today, probably, Tom, huh? I mean, you scooped some futures at some point. I don't know if we moved quite 1% on the day. But VIX has had a little pop, of course, after the downgrade and the big move in the markets, but lightened up a little bit yesterday. And then VVIX touched a 1-month high. It's back in the mid-90s. Not quite 100 like we're used to seeing it, but getting up there. All right, let's move ahead to the next slide. This is the week, man. Tumultuous week in bonds. BOJ policy, of course, last week was the first time we saw bonds move down. Then you had the Fitch downgrade. And then there's news that the U.S. Treasury is issuing $103 billion worth of bonds and probably going to push it down. But you like bonds here. You like 30 years here at this point.
It's easy to say that right now because they're just up 20, 21. We've been leaning long since they got under 124. Mm-hmm. So I started selling the 121 puts when they got under 124. I sold some more when they were 123. Sold some more when they were 122. Yesterday, I just scalped them from the long side bonds. So we're definitely long bonds here. I also think it's kind of an offset if you have the yield curve trade on. I think it's kind of a nice offset against that. But yeah, I'm trading from the long side based on no fundamentals whatsoever. Yeah. Based strictly on the fact that hey, they just sold off 8 points. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
it's a great contrarian trade.
That's it. That's it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Let's move ahead to the next slide. So NASDAQ volatility, a little bit of spike this week. As a matter of fact, biggest spike in nearly a year. And a little, when you looked at on the ratio basis, which I did, I was struggling on which chart to put in here. I thought this was the best looking one. But there's another chart that I looked at, VIX versus VXN, in a ratio, actually VIXN to VIX.
Yeah, it's a good looking chart.
And it popped up. So a little bit pop in NASDAQ volatility here, which lets you know, any sign of faltering, NASDAQ vol is going to go completely nuts. Is basically the thing that you need to know. But
well, that's where all the vol should be right now.
It's where it should be.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's move ahead to the next slide. Speaking of the yield curve trade, it's flattened quite a bit. Steepened. Yeah, sorry. It steepened quite a bit over these last couple of weeks here. And a lot of it, again, three things. The BOJ thing, then you got the Fitch downgrade. Regardless whether it was bullshit or not, it forced the long end. It forced the yields up on the long end. Yeah. And that was the big, as they call the bear move. So yeah, this has been. We were at nearly 75 basis points. I think about 70. Actually, a little under that today. But
no, not today.
2 years back, just fell back down. Actually, they were up earlier this morning when we were looking.
What did I say? The ZT. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's about unchanged right now.
We'll see where it ends
up. It's really
moving
around.
Yeah,
wow.
It is.
Yep.
But this has been moving, so keep that in mind. Let's move ahead to the next slide. Correlation, we saw pick up a little bit this week. 3-month correlation and 1-month correlation picked up a little bit on the sell-off, of course. This is something to keep in mind. If we do start to get a sustained move to the down, you're going to see more correlation popping up. But again, we're popping up today. Who knows where we're going to end up? I honestly don't know after this jobs report. Let's move ahead to the next slide. Speaking of jobs report, this jobs report yielded the weakest print since July of 2020. So again, we've always said bad news for these big reports is good news for market. Market so far is cooperating. We'll see where it ends up today. July was crude oil's best month since January of 2022. It's been up for 6 straight weeks, man. And you said last week you weren't really surprised at the crude move.
No. I am surprised. I was surprised by the length of this crude 6 straight weeks, and also by the magnitude of the move from mid 60s up to the low 80s. I'm surprised, but I'm actually short a little bit of crude oil here. What's it doing today? It's up 30 cents.
It's close to 82, yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a really good spot. I know there's like a bunch of crude news coming out this week, like inventory, all the garbage.
You don't pay attention to crude news.
No, I understand that. I'm just hoping there's something that makes it go lower.
Yeah.
I think I like crude. I like the short side of crude here, but it hasn't. Every time it's down ticked even a tick, it's gone right back up. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but I like the downside of crude here.
Yeah, that's what.
I agree with you. I've been short crude for the past couple of weeks. It hasn't been working, obviously.
No,
but I'm still going to hang on to that trade.
It's fair enough. SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in everything except Bitcoin. There's a big fight going on between the two. Coinbase had earnings today, of course, where the stock is down a little bit. But, this thing hasn't been moving on earnings. It's been moving on this SEC stuff. So stay tuned.
I mean, it's a fascinating story because somebody had to have the balls to go after the SEC. And I'm glad it was Coinbase because they got the money. But, we're all sitting, the whole industry sitting. Nobody's ever rooted for a company that they compete with more than, and when I say we compete, we don't really compete with Coinbase, but enough that still, even though I do feel like there is some competition there, I want Coinbase to win this so bad.
Oh, of course you do. We're on the sidelines like, Coinbase, that's right. You fight the good fight.
Yeah, you go in there.
What it is the SEC is stuck in 1935. That's what it is.
Kind of.
And the world is about equities and, stock regulation and all that. The whole world is moving towards this crypto stuff, digital stuff, and is completely outpacing what the SEC can handle.
Yeah, it's time for them to get up with the times. July CPI report is the next big thing, which is, I don't think it's going to be huge, but we'll see. It could turn after these last couple of rate hikes. We'll see. On Thursday of August 10th. And then finally, research this week that was awesome. Market measure, risks of long premium. That's all I got.
It was a good piece. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, Jamal. And TP, S&P's up 18, NASDAQ up 75. We've got a ton of earnings that we did last night. We're going to talk about them as soon as we come back. We did Airbnb, Amazon, Apple, DraftKings, Carvana, Coinbase, and Square. And those are just the ones we traded. So I got a lot of stuff to do on the opening, and then TP and I are going to do fast market, and then hopefully after we're done with that TP, then Anton will come in and we'll do the market measure for today. But we'll come back in about 60 seconds or so. Should be good.
Sounds good.